I felt like I was just down like a really negative path with music, and I realized it was really the music that was causing this, right? And it was really the only thing I had going in my life. So, you know, once I put the music to the side, I started focusing on my fitness. Through that, I started meeting like, other teachers. I started meeting cops. I started meeting ambulance people, firefighters. And I was like seeing that there was a whole different side to life. It's your boy, the teacher, fitness trainer, just all around bad man, top ranking dread, Chad Ashe. And you're now tuned into LOWKEY MTL.
Prochaine station.
LOWKEY MTL.
Off the bat, I just wanted to talk about the whole drama around the music video that you did.
Yes. I had to make a music video because I had a new song, basically. And I made a music video. While I was making the music video, I always had to keep in mind that it has to be G-rated, right? Because I have students. Some of the students are 12. Some of the students are 16, 17. But I just have to make sure that my image is like general, G-rated.
Right.
And basically what happened is I shot the music video. Everything was fine. I got back to school in September. And usually what I do is I do this thing with my students where I ask them 10 things I should know about them, right? So off top, I get kind of like an assessment of their personality, if they're shy, if they know how to speak English, all these different little cues that I can pick up when I have a conversation with them. Because after they give me the 10 things, we have a conversation. So to give them an example, I told them 10 things they should know about me. And in that, I told them I'm a recording artist. And obviously they wanted to see if I sucked, So they were like, we want to see your stuff.
For sure, yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll play it. I'll play you guys like a 30, 45 second preview. So I did that. Everything was smooth. And then one day I just got that phone call. It was like, yo, you're suspended for showing a music video, right?
Was that music video, so did that song all start because of this challenge you had with your students?
Okay, so like this is another thing, like this is like a whole different thing. So I had taken a hiatus from music.
Right, yeah.
And I got my first teaching contract in 2019. And what happened was my students liked me, so they started doing research on Google, right? So as they did research, they seen like old music videos that I had done. And at that point, we were doing this type of project where it was like, be the best that you can be, right? So if a student said in their 10 things that I should know about them, that they wanted to become a cop, then I would challenge them to actually have a conversation with a cop, have an interview with a cop. And I would guide them through the process, right? So questions they should ask, and if they could actually go on a trip with a cop, maybe like a half a day, you know what I mean? Just so they can get closer to their goals.
Yeah, and like experience it and see it.
Exactly. Yeah. So after that, we started this project, and then the students were like, what are you doing? So I was like, I don't know. And then they were like, why don't you start rapping? Why don't you do like, I'm like, it's true, because I had took a hiatus, and like, it was something that I had never completed. I had never went like all the way. I didn't check the business side.
Why did you take time off? Why did you stop?
Because being an artist is rough, right? So meaning that like, as much that you put into your art, when people criticize it, or, they try to snake around, like, let's just say you write something for an artist and they don't want to give you credit.
Right.
You take it really personal, right? Yeah. And at that point, I felt like I was just down like a really negative path with music. And I realized it was really the music that was causing this, right? And it was really the only thing I had going in my life. So, once I put the music to the side, I started focusing on my fitness. Through that, I started meeting like, other teachers. I started meeting cops. I started meeting ambulance people, firefighters. And I was like seeing that there was a whole different side to life, right? Because I hadn't seen that side. I was more like in the streets and like just like,
yeah, it's who you're around, right?
Basically like wandering Montreal with nothing to do, So once I started seeing that, I started getting disciplined. And then it took me a good until 2019 for me to just get back into it when the students challenged me, right? I started going back to the studio. That's when I wrote First Things First, right? The rap song, like a rap song that I have on my Spotify, and students really liked it. So then I just ran with it, and I just started practicing and refining my art more and more. And then by 2020, I had produced 7 songs. So I had to learn how to make beats. Because then I knew that like working with other people might be complicated. You know, like you got to get a beat, you got to do this.
Yeah, they also like they got to see your vision, and they got to like you guys both have to meet up all the time.
Exactly, but at least when I self-produced myself, I had a body of work. Like I had 7 songs, so you can basically get the idea of where I'm going, right? So then I started working with other producers, and as I worked with other producers, I met Dean, which is a producer from Nigeria, and then he remixed one of the songs that I had stashed, and then that's when we shot the video. And then we get back to the class situation, me getting suspended. And basically I was suspended for like 12 days with paid and 3 days without pay because I spoke to the media. You know?
When this happened, were other teachers in the school kind of like on your side, or like were they against you?
I think
just
it was
in between.
There was teachers that like sent me messages that, like, you know, for support.
From the same school?
From a different school.
Okay.
Because
I'm talking about like your like coworker situation.
No.
Okay.
Because it's like you gotta think about it. It's like a cop turning on other cops, right? And then that cop goes back to work. It's like a brotherhood.
Yeah.
Right? So when you speak about it, people don't like it. It's like the same thing in the streets, right? You're labeled a snitch. So basically, I was kind of like labeled a snitch. So like nobody really wanted to rock with me like that because I had spoken about what was happening and how it was unfair. Because with my common sense, I couldn't make sense of it. Right. And nobody around me in the school could tell me how it made sense. Right. So I had no choice but to speak to the media or else my voice wasn't going to get hurt.
Yeah, 100%. You know? Which is smart. It's smart that you did that.
So yeah, I think it was smart. I think it's like, you know, people, when you face injustice, you got to speak up, you know? So like that was basically the situation that happened with that. But there was a lot more good that came out of the situation than bad. I can
Did you get like more views from that? Probably, right?
For sure. I was like just like Wahala, I was like at 1.7 K views. Oh, and I boosted it up to 56. Right. And at the same time, it allowed me to see where these views are coming from. Because like you can see your analytics and stuff like that.
Exactly,
so I got to see that. And you know, it just opened up more doors for me, to be honest with you.
How did this video even get found? Was it like a situation where like someone just randomly found it?
Were you talking about the parent or like that made
who basically snitched about this and like
apparently it was a parent, right?
Okay.
That was
they didn't tell you. Yeah, I guess they won't. Yeah.
Like I mean, I don't know exactly who it is. Like I don't have a name. They're still like they, but like I don't know who snitched. I don't know who ratted on me.
But the students were all on your side, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like I got mad love for my students and they have mad love for me. Like I mean, like I was explaining to the board, I was like, if I was such a threat to the school system and the students, I wouldn't have had a petition with like 1,000 names signed on it to get me back to work. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't happen. And like, I don't recall any issue that I've had with students where I wasn't able to fix it. Cause like, to me, it's like, I'm not arguing with a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old. Like to me, I think that's ludicrous. I'm an adult. So I can always find a middle ground with a teen. Like,
but I also feel like the teachers' world is like, there's like a lot of power trip situations going on there.
Yeah. A lot of power trips, man.
Yeah.
They're so disrespectful to students and like...
Because they're just used to like telling them what to do. Like I even remember like everybody's high school memories are always shit.
Yeah, exactly. That, you know, like so like with me, it's just like, I'm just trying to ease that time with my students, right? Because I know that after they have me, like whatever's happening after is probably going to be trash. You know what I mean? So like I try to just give them information that's valuable to their lives, right? Because you can know a bunch of facts, but if you know like how much
real life advice, right?
Exactly, right? Yeah. So you need facts that like are actually useful to your life. So I just try to base my lessons on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. There's always those like teachers that you remember because they like gave you some kind of advice that like you just took with you forever.
I try to be that teacher, that one favorite teacher that you had in high school. And even when I'm rough with them, like they know if I'm rough with them, they know they deserved it. So it's like, it's always like a mutual respect. And when I mess up, I have no problems apologizing.
And having that conversation and explaining like properly versus just being like, no, this is how it is because I said so, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like that doesn't work out. And like, it just doesn't work out in life when you said it because I said so. Like try telling that to a cop. I don't want this ticket because I said so. Like that doesn't make sense anywhere else in the social sphere, except when you're a teacher and you're dominating over students, you know? And why would you want to do that as a teacher, dominate?
Yeah,
you know,
and most of the times, like personal issues that they have, they just take out on like
a lot of the teachers haven't like lived life, right? So they started kindergarten, they finished elementary school, they went to high school. From high school, they went to CEGEP. From CEGEP, they went to university, and then they went right back into the system, right? So they didn't take no breaks between high school and CEGEP or CEGEP and university. They haven't lived, you know, like most English teachers don't know how to rap. And to me, that's crazy to me because it's like you're teaching a language, but you don't know how to rhyme in that language. It's kind of weird. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's true.
And it's like, a lot of the times, like let's just say you're teaching ethics, cultures, and religion. If you haven't been around like a street thug, or if you haven't been around pimps or prostitutes or crackheads, you don't have that sense of like, it's not always peachy. You know what I mean? Like there's a dark side to society also. So like, if you haven't seen both sides of the coin, then you shouldn't really be teaching about like ethics, cultures, and religion, because it's like, you haven't experienced life enough, you know? And then you're trying to teach these kids about life, but it's like you haven't lived.
Yeah,
you know?
That's why I feel like the educational system is changing too, because think about like a university prof who's like teaching you about business that doesn't own a business himself.
It's weird.
Just doesn't make sense, right?
It's weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, the whole thing is weird. Like, there's a lot of weird things that are happening in education, but, you know, with technology, with like AI, with the metaverse, I really feel like it's going to change, and like you'll be able to personalize your teachers. So like, and you'll be able to personalize your curriculum. Like, it's crazy. Like, even down to your laptop, to your camera, you can personalize everything now. Except your education, the most important thing that you can carry with you. You know what I mean?
What do you see like teaching looking like in the metaverse?
I think it's going to be better for the students to be like, I think like the teacher, like how I'm teaching right now, is going to become obsolete. And you're just gonna have like super dope teachers on the metaverse, and it's gonna be great. And kids are gonna love to learn, because it's gonna be, you know, they won't be getting dictated. It's gonna be real education. And they're gonna choose what to learn. I feel like it's gonna be a situation where you're like choosing what to learn. Yeah, definitely. As you should. As you should. You know what I mean? Because like, I mean, there's a lot of things in math that I just never used, because I'm not a math person, but there's a lot of things that in math that I did use. You know what I mean? But it's just about figuring out what you need.
What you actually need and what you actually like.
Exactly. What's useful and what's not useful to you. You know?
Why'd you choose English? You majored in English, I'm assuming?
Yes, exactly. So I majored in English, and, you know, by nature, like everything about me is rebellious. So by nature, to me, it just made sense to be the English teacher in Quebec. You know what I mean? Because since it's so frowned upon and like the government hates English, you know, to me the best.
Which is like destructive to them.
It is, right? Because it's like, as soon as you leave the province, whether you go east or west, everybody speaks English. And it's not about, you know, protecting the French language. You can there's ways to protect the French language, but there's also ways to not discriminate against English, when it's like,
you don't need to choose a side, you can have both.
Exactly. There's no side to choose. There's nothing to protect. Like, and like most Quebecers, when we leave the province, we speak French amongst each other. Like on resorts, like that's what you hear. It's like you hear French people speak French, and when you speak to them, they can actually speak English. It's just that like, it's just more discreet, right? So like, it's not a French versus English thing. I think it's just more like a discrimination against English because of like our history with, you know, the British and the French and stuff like that. I think it's pretty ridiculous. But back to your question, to me, it just made sense, because it was like, I was deprived from English from elementary school all the way to CEGEP. And then when I got to CEGEP, because I was getting the information in English, all my grades went up, because I think in English. Like, I think.
So you did all your academics in French growing up? Oh, okay.
I had to.
And then your English was, I guess, like communicating with your parents and like
my dad's 100% Anglophone.
Okay.
And my mom is Francophone.
She's born Francophone. So you had both.
So when my mom, I spoke French. When my dad, I spoke English.
Okay, so you're naturally like super, like perfectly bilingual.
It's like the ultimate Quebecer.
Yeah. That's dope. Sometimes I'm sad about how I don't have that like perfect Fringlishness, you know? But still, like, as long as you just hang around with. And also I grew up here, so like it's automatic.
You catch it. I mean, like, you really actually catch it. You just gotta.
Yeah, but it's just like in the like job field too. Like if you're trying to get a job, it definitely fucks you up. So that's what ends up happening. Everybody ends up like moving outside of Montreal. Yeah,
and like a lot of people just end up moving outside of Montreal. And then like, even if you have that little tinge of like English in your French, they still don't like that. You know what I mean? So like, they won't let you climb up the ranks. You might get the job. just won't climb up the ranks how you're supposed to.
Yeah, you can't have that same like rapport with like your higher ups and stuff.
Yeah. Because like a lot of people don't like English here. It's like that's how it is.
Which is crazy because if you go to like the city, nobody cares. But like if you go like up north, that's when people like refuse to speak in
English.
In English,
just refuse.
Even if you want to start a business in Quebec, like on the Revenue Quebec side, if you want to get like a business number and shit, there's no English.
No,
all the paperwork is in French. And I was on the phone with them yesterday, and I was like, oh, like, do you understand English? Like, can I speak in English? And you can speak in French. She's like, no, like we don't speak any English.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
there's no fill out the paper. The paperwork is in French. You can't get no English version. It is what it is, man. It's just Quebec, and it handicaps the children that don't have access to English. You know what I mean? Because I got students. This is another thing too. I had students that were in grade 9. They didn't know their ABCs in English, and that's when I realized I had a serious problem. Right? So I'm with the class, and I'm taking them out one by one. Right? I'm asking them questions, and I'm like, I asked them like, what's this? Like, what's this letter? And they didn't know the letter. So I'm like, how you trying to, like, what have you been doing from kindergarten all the way to grade 9?
Yeah.
And like, they have English classes. So what are you doing in your English classes that you don't know your ABCs? Like, people don't know their ABCs, and it's like, they go into society after, you know, like they'll go into society.
Yeah, I met a lot of people in CEGEP that like that's the first time they're doing things in English.
Yeah.
And they choose to go to English CEGEPs because they know they're fucked otherwise.
Yes.
If they go to a uni and like ADM afterwards or something and like they only do French, then they're definitely fucked.
Yeah, exactly. And like it just closes so many doors.
Yeah, it limits your doors, exactly.
So like, you know, that's like the whole thing. But that's the reason why I went to English, to be honest with you. It's just because it's so frowned upon in Quebec that I was like, I'm gonna learn more about it. You know what I mean?
And I like that you have like an approach to it as like you're educating like the future. You have like an understanding that it's like future population. And,
For sure.
There's like a lot of like your job is really important to like guide them the right way.
It's super important because basically I get the chance to like touch the future, right? And I'll give you the perfect example. Back in 2009 when we did like Get Closer to Your Goals project, what happened was one of my students, he was a photographer and he became a photographer for Journal de Montréal.
Okay.
Then he heard the story through the Chateauguay newspaper, and he's the one that gave that story to Journal de Montréal because he knew who I was as a teacher, right? Now, if I was a dickhead and I would have been like, you don't speak French, you don't speak English, get out of my class, I hate every student that doesn't speak English, he would have been like, good for that teacher. Like, he deserves it, right? But he knew my character because I had spent a year with him. And he was like, yo, we can't let that slide. So I'm going to talk to my boss, make sure this story gets put on, right? So it's like that good karma. So it's just like constantly like, I'm always cautious of like how I speak to students and how I interact with them because I know you might be a cop one day. And I may be like, you know,
it's with like anybody,
70 and
right?
50 and like you pull me over, you're like, oh, it's Mr. Ashe. He was always cool. He let me slide a couple times. I'm going to let him slide. You know, so it's just like good karma.
Yeah, I believe in that too. I believe in like never burning bridges. Like always, like even if it ends really badly, like you don't have to like
kill it.
Yeah, you don't have to kill it completely. You know, just give it.
Exactly, and that's another thing too. Why I was I put like a halt to music back in 2014 was because I was killing bridges. I was getting my emotions were getting the best out of me, and I was hating it because I was like, yo, music is supposed to make you feel good. It's not supposed to make you want to burn bridges and like, you know, get out.
Why? Like, what happened? Like, was there any specific situation?
There was a bunch of situations. There was situations where I was writing for artists. They didn't want to give me the credit. You know what I mean? There's like the fact that like, okay, so like, if you sell X amount of tickets, then you can open up for this artist. But then you sell the tickets, and then it's just like, nah, we ain't letting you.
Yeah, they just like ghost you or something.
Exactly, and it was this weird transitional part where we were leaving like. We were in the digital, but we weren't fully like Spotify streaming Apple Music yet.
What year was this around? Like
14, 13.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I started in 08.
Yeah.
Right. And then like, that was just like me like developing who I was as an artist. And like around 13, 14, like this is when like, you know, like it was like a weird time. Like I didn't know if I was supposed to sell physical units. I didn't know if I was supposed to post. Like there was no podcast. Like this whole concepts that like allow artists to like elevate, they didn't exist. You had to pass through the conventional outlets, right? And with the conventional outlets, I didn't know what they wanted from me. Like, do you want me to drop an album? Does it have to be physical, or you want me to drop it on YouTube?
And there's not a lot of information specific to Montreal on YouTube, for example, back then.
Exactly, right? And like, we're thinking about like, this is like, she's like maybe 2 years after Instagram was made. Like it wasn't even popping like that. Like,
Like, it was just like an editing app at that point.
Exactly, right? You could just run your filters. It was amazing. You know? So basically, so that's what happened. And then I took a step back. And then by the time I came back and I started doing research, man, it was like so much information on where to put your music, how to get put on and all of that, right? And that was another thing too. Everybody I was surrounded with never hit that level of success that I wanted to hit. You know what I mean? So nobody could give me advice. And like I felt like everybody around me was just giving me bad advice. It was just a bad time.
Was it like a Montreal specific thing? Or do you think
it is a Montreal specific thing? Because then you got to do French music. And I refused to do French music because back then the Afro beats and like the rap wasn't as good in French. So I didn't have that reference. Like, how am I supposed to do these French songs? Like every French song I'm listening to is like trash, right? And it's, oh man. It's not that French music is trash. It's just that like at that time it just wasn't good. I wasn't resonating with it. So, you know, when you don't know what to do, it's just better to stay still. And I just focused on other things. And at the same time, you know, I got my bachelor's. I became a CrossFit coach. Then I was able to reach like a semi-level pro level of fitness. So it was like it was dope.
Yeah, know? CrossFit is hectic.
Yeah, it is.
Can you do muscle ups and shit?
I do everything. I compete like semi-pro.
Okay.
Right? Like I'm not any workout I do. Like I'm not scared of any workout. I go toe to toe with the best of them.
Yeah. And I feel like CrossFit is like good for longevity. You know? Like
yeah. Especially if you, because look, this is what happens. CrossFit will expose you. Like if you're not fit, it'll expose you. Like either on the run, it's gonna expose you. Your gymnastics, your lifts. Even if you run like, I don't know, even if you run a marathon, can you deadlift 350 pounds, right? Because you might have to run like 4K, and when you come back from that 4K, you got to do 40 deadlifts at 225. You got to do it. You know what I mean? So it's just about like, it'll expose you, and I just feel like...
it's like more like a triathlon at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just like mentally, you got to be very strong to just like show up every day, you know? And like you're going through pain, your body's developing, and like it's just amazing.
Yeah, having that stress in life is key to like balance shit out, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Once I started doing CrossFit, like my whole attitude changed, man. Like I didn't have time, like I didn't have the energy to give
a fuck about anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was like, whatever, man.
It is energy wasted anyways.
It is.
No point.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, it is what it is. But like now it's just like I'm ready for trying to get to the CrossFit games. See if I can get there. Okay. For sure.
So do you like teach and then coach on the side?
Yes. So basically my schedule used to be, before the pandemic, it was, so I go to school, I had to be there for like 6:45. The class started at 7:15 till like 2:45. And at 2:45, I go to like a restaurant, mix, like a Saint-Hubert or 5 à 7, whatever. I'd mix there till like 7, 8. Then I'd leave. Then I'd go to the club, mix there from like 10 to like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I just repeat, right? But it was cool because it allowed me to, first of all, it allowed me to just use most of my time to generate money. And because I had school in the morning, I had to stay sober, right? So that gave me a whole different perspective on...
Right, the night before, you mean.
The club, exactly, right? So because I can't come in smelling like alcohol. I can't come in drowsy. Because these kids, like, you never know. Because you don't know what happened the night before, right? Like they could have been in a Snapchat group chat and be like, yo, it's on site when we get to class, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, like there's a full on fight breaking out. Like I've seen girls punch teachers dead in their face. You know what I mean? Like
are you involved in that drama too, since you're like the chill teacher?
If I'm involved, what do you mean?
Like do students come to you and like talk about like the drama that's going on? You're like, you know what's going on more than other teachers? I'm probably
one of the first teachers to know what's happening. What's going to happen. You know what I mean? Because they talk to me, and like even the ones that are not involved, they'll come and see me and be like, "Oh, there's going to be a fight tonight." You know what I mean? And like they come and show me the fight videos and all of that. You know, like, but I mean, like at the end of the day, I can't really do nothing about it because it's like, if you get involved, let's just say I get involved, I get punched in my nose, and then I got to go to the hospital. They can say that it wasn't my business to try to stop it because my role is a teacher, not a security guard. So then they don't want to pay for my like 4 or 5 weeks that I got to stay off because my nose is broken. So it's like a weird thing. It's like a weird thing.
It's always better to stay away from that shit anyways.
Definitely. These kids are crazy. Don't let them do their thing.
Yeah, they're savages.
Yeah,
I remember like even when I was that age, like it just was so dumb. Like The brain wasn't fully
You
developed.
couldn't in grade 9, in grade 10, 11, you couldn't tell me I wasn't a gangster. You could not tell me, even though I was not a gangster, you could not tell me I wasn't a gangster. Because in my head, I was a gangster. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
And the brain is not fully developed at that age.
Nah, man,
so like,
you're a baby. You're still a baby. You can't even go to SAQ.
Yeah. You tell me how you're DJing. How did that all start?
All right, so DJing. My dad was like my dad's a first generation like hip hop DJ in Montreal. So he brought hip hop and like
So his parents moved to Montreal?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they used to live in Toronto. They moved to Montreal, Little Burgundy.
Okay.
And then from there, my dad started.
So it was always a Canadian?
Always Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Like
sick.
I mean, like, yo, like my grandmother's grandfather was in Canada.
Oh,
and black.
okay.
You know what I mean? So like we've been here since the Underground Railroad.
Right.
So it's like a whole Black Canadian. It's like Afro Canadian. Same way there's like Afro Americans, like African Americans. We're just African Canadians. We just didn't stay with slavery. Like why stay there?
Exactly.
I still don't get it to this day. Like a lot of African Americans stay in the United States, and I don't get it. But it's not for me to get. My ancestors decided like we're gonna set up in Canada. But
yeah. there are some benefits like Canada, for example, during the pandemic. We got fucked because of the whole healthcare system we have, right? Yeah. So like, and everything's more independent in the States, so you have more like options and opportunities to like do shit on your own.
And there's more people.
There's a lot more people. Bigger market, yeah.
Exactly. There's pros and cons, like, but if you have no business out there, you shouldn't be out there. Like I've been arrested by police in the States. Oh yeah, it's a whole different experience. Yeah. Like where were you? I got arrested in New Jersey.
Okay.
They just searched the vehicle. You know what I mean? Like they brought the dogs. They had us on the floor, handcuffed. They were going through all our stuff.
Even were you guys complying like fully?
Yeah, fully.
And
I was terrified though.
Were they trying to like instigate you to search 100%. It? Yeah.
But what I did was I just said I don't speak English.
Okay.
It's like
smart.
My phone, like I have one name that's like French, super French. So I just pretended like I didn't know English. Like my English was gone. Like I was a tourist. Like I like when I seen the lights go off, I was like, yo, I don't speak English. Because that was the best way for me to get out of it. Because I know if I answer some questions and ask more questions, I said the best way is just cut it at the end.
Yeah.
I don't speak
You have to make
English.
them not want to deal with it. Yeah.
Exactly. So after my experience with that, I was pretty much
it like opened your eyes up.
It opened my eyes, but then it wasn't until I got to the DMV. So I was in Virginia and I went to a CrossFit box, right? And like I hadn't realized that like there's like a racial divide in CrossFit in the States, meaning like I mean like a membership is like $150 a month, right? So like you won't find CrossFit boxes in the poor neighborhoods.
To automatically.
So I'm going to like county whatever, and I'm just rolling in there. And as soon as I got there, I realized, oh man, this is like KKK country. We're in Virginia, right? So it's like I really was not welcome there. I was with my mom. Like we just got up out of there. We got up out the whole county, just left because we knew that like this is what they experience. Like this is real. Like they don't want us here. Like it doesn't matter if we're just coming here to train. They do not want us here.
Yeah, so, I think is that like a lack of knowledge? Because like most people in the States, they never like travel. They're always like generation. They're always growing up in the same area, small town. And
definitely, it's a lack of knowledge. Racism generally, at its root is ignorance, right? Racism is ignorance. Like you're ignorant. So it's like as if you're walking around and you're like. If I'm walking around Montreal and I'm telling my friends, I don't like Sri Lankans, then this situation would happen, right? And it's just like based off what? It's based off ignorance. And so like, no, I don't. Yeah, it's definitely because they're ignorant and they never left. Because once you leave, you start realizing that you can't rely on people because of their level of melanin. That's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like to base your life and the people you're around based off melanin, you're losing your mind. 100%.
Yeah, that's like super detached. And like, that's one of the benefits of Canada, I guess. You're growing up with like every race.
Yes, exactly.
It's so multicultural here.
Exactly. So it's like, you go to Toronto, like good luck being racist in Toronto.
Yeah. And the culture in Toronto like shows that too. Like
exactly. There's no honestly, there's really no space for racism. Like in my life, I don't really rock with that. I don't get it. I get it. I can't say I don't get it. Like I grew up, I had cousins that were like, that had like Hitler posters in their rooms. You know what I mean? Because like I still have a white side to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And they were racist. They liked us. They liked me and my mom.
Yeah.
But they didn't like other black people. But like,
did that give you like a deeper understanding of like why they're racist?
Yeah, for sure. It's ignorance.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
And it's not even like they don't even be around black people like that. They were all the way up in like Charlevoix or whatever, like deep in Quebec. Like there's no black people there.
Yeah.
So it's like this image that you're creating is just like in your head. You know what I mean? Because you're not exposed to anything else. You know. So it's just like, I was exposed to racism like my whole life, basically. You know. So it's just like. It's like really useless. I see like then you see these people grow up. So I seen these people grow up and like how like they accomplish so little because of like just this narrow view. Yeah,
it's just the narrow mindset.
It's just the narrow view. Like you'll get your job and you'll work, but I mean like you don't like what you won't watch a Kevin Hart movie. So like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
you don't even like give it a chance.
Exactly, because the person's black. So it's like it's a waste. So it's like it's a loss for them actually.
Yeah.
So I actually feel bad for racist people.
Yeah.
Black or white, because there is black people that hate white people with like no valid reason whatsoever, right? So it's like either way. If you base your judgments on how much melanin a person has,
or even just how they look,
like how they look, how they talk, whatever, you know, like. And it's such a surface thing. Like there's an expression that says, "Don't judge a book by its cover," right? Because it's the surface. Yeah. So it's like if you're judging people based on the surface, then you're never gonna go anywhere. You got to get to know a person in order to see their value. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. And now you're releasing a song called "First Things First," right?
I released. Yeah, exactly. So basically, I released 7 songs, 7 self-produced songs in 2020. Then I released 2 tracks in 2021, which was Wahala and Colorado. One was produced by Dean. The other one was produced by Snagsy. And these are 2 producers from Nigeria. And then right now I'm going to release another single called Give It To Me at the end of February. And that's produced by Snagsy. And then we're just working on the album. That's it. That's coming out in September. I'm really excited for that because there's French music on there. I produce a couple songs. Snagsy got a couple songs on there. Dean got a couple songs on there. Another guy named Corey Miners has songs on there. And we're all a part of the Afro diaspora, right? So because I'm African Canadian, there's a lot of history I didn't have, right? So I had to do the research myself. And then I figured out I was from Nigeria. And as I'm figuring out that I'm from Nigeria, like my ancestry is really from Nigeria, I start discovering the music from there, and it's starting to resonate a lot more with me. So to me, when it came time to really like craft an album and like a sound that I wanted to
like
work
finding
with,
your sound kind of thing.
I was all in with Nigeria because it was like to me it's the leading sound. Like I don't see this sound getting beat for the next like 10 years, like because they're so talented, yo.
100%.
Just like you put on Afro beats in a party and it's
always
rocking.
Yeah.
So it's just like it made perfect sense to me to go down that route.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
That's dope. I want to ask about First Things First though, because the lyrics in that and stuff is I guess you as like a parent, right? It would be like they could easily like kind of blame you for shit.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Look, he's like propagating the wrong message, right?
Yeah.
Is that your way of like kind of doubling down of the situation?
No, not at all.
Okay.
What do you like? You mean like? What do you mean by doubling down?
Because like you know how you got shit for the other song?
Yeah.
So like, is this you just like doubling down? Like, yo, fuck it.
Yeah, basically, man. I really see. This is the thing when you're an artist, and this is what I explained to the school board. There's a certain authenticity that you need to bring when you do rap, right? Rap is an aggressive. It's an aggressive genre.
Yeah.
Right. And at the end of the day, any parent that thinks that their kid is not using the same words that I'm using is tripping. They're in total denial.
Yeah.
Like teens, they're at a stage in their life where they're experimenting with breaking the rules, respecting the rules, hiding it from their parents. So like the way they talk in front of their parents is a total different way.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like we all did it. Like, you know, like in high school, you weren't the same with your friends as you were with your parents. But I see them away from their parents. So I know that like my little F-bomb or my little shit bomb or whatever it is.
It's gonna slide,
They don't care about that. You know what I mean? They got way dirtier mouths than me. Like I'm focused on what I say. Like I use these, like, the reason why I said the coolest fucking teacher, because there's no teacher that would say, I'm the coolest fucking teacher. They say, I'm the coolest teacher, because they're scared of the word fuck. But I'm not scared, because it's like a word like that we all use. Like,
that probably also like engages them more and keeps their attention for longer, right?
Of course it does. And it's weird to see a teacher do that. It's like, sonically, you're like, oh, damn, that's like the same teacher that I have. So it's like, it's a whole different experience.
Yeah,
I was with it.
For sure.
I was with it. Like, I like, my dad told me, he called me, he's like, you shouldn't say the F word. I was like, if I didn't say the F word, then it wouldn't be cool. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like,
it's also a thing of the past. Like, swear words are slowly becoming more and more like used on the regular basis.
Of course. Like, you're gonna, like, kids are exposed to so much because of the internet now.
That
like,
too.
Just like TikTok. Like, come on. Like, sometimes I see the dances that they do, and I'm just like, yo, no 12-year-old should be doing that. Straight up. Like, it's just like, but it's a part of the culture. Because if I was 12 years old, there's no way my teacher's telling me I can't do that dance. I'm doing the dance. Like,
it's interesting because, like, I think it was like in the 60s when people used to go to the disco.
Yeah.
What they would do is they would like group up at like someone's house first, and they would choreograph like a dance, and they'd be like, hey, this is what we're gonna like bust up to, you know? And I feel like that's kind of what's happening with TikTok. We're kind of like going back to that, where like everybody's in a group, like synchronized dancing, you know?
Yeah. And I like it, man. I like, let the kids explore. Like, the kids shouldn't be hidden away from anything. If anything, they should have, like, I don't like to use role models because I don't think that's a real thing, but they should have models, real models of how to navigate through these spaces, right? How to navigate through the TikToks and how to navigate through the IGs. Like, there's no class on online ethical behavior. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's no class like that. And this is very important. Like, you got to know not to send a dick pic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you should know, like, you shouldn't do that. It's not the best way to get the girl. You know what I mean? There's other ways. When the time comes, cool. But like, before that, you need to know, like, you know, ethical ways of navigating the space.
Yeah, it's true. There's nothing like about that at all, actually.
Nothing.
Yeah. Why don't you believe in role models?
I don't believe in role models because...
Do you believe in mentors?
Yes, for sure. What I'm talking about is role models, right? Because to me, a role model is somebody that is deemed like the perfect role, like you're fitting the mold, right? But no humans the same, right? So imagine like trying to live up to this standard that you're not really sure, right? So it's like cancel culture. They're canceling all these people, but how are you actually supposed to behave? Like, what's the perfect model of person to be not canceled in the music industry? You know, that's not clear. Like, am I supposed to act like Taylor Swift, or am I supposed to act like Ye? Am I supposed to act like Britney, or am I supposed to act like Adele? Like, what's the perfect model?
Yeah, especially in an artist world, like, it's impossible.
Exactly, and then that hinders your creativity, right? Because you're like, you might be writing something and be like, or you have an idea for a visual, you're like, I can't do that because they're gonna try to cancel me. Yeah, I can't have my opinion. It's like being in traffic, right? You're depending on the opinion from the front. You can't go there. You can't back up because the opinion in the back's there. Can't open your car because this guy got an opinion. So you're just stuck in traffic in life. So you might as well just do whatever you got to do, and whatever happens, then you learn how to navigate throughout these things, right? So because I lived my life and like I never held back, and like I just did basically whatever I felt was right in my heart, I can have conversations with students, right? I might not have the answer, but I'll give you my real honest like answer with the life experience that I had. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by like, I don't really believe in role models, because it's like nobody's perfect. What you need is real people that went through real experiences, not like, you know, you read something in a textbook and you think that's how life is. You know, like you went through
real life experience.
You know, and sometimes as humans, when you try different things in life, you're gonna mess up. You know what I mean? You know,
but you're supposed to. Like,
you're supposed to, exactly. So it's like imagine trying to have the right answer all the time. Like, that's so hard. Like, that's to me as a role model is like somebody that's gonna have the right answer all the time. That doesn't happen. You know, so what you need is a real model. Yeah,
and your right answer is always gonna change.
Exactly, because you evolve as a person.
Exactly,
right?
You're never the same
like,
person.
Like if you ask me what I thought about weed when I was 22, it's a lot different than my answer now. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
Do you still smoke?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
But how is your opinion different when you were 22 versus now?
I mean,
were you against it?
When I was 22, I was the type to just smoke on a bus. Like, I smoke on an STM, like in the metro with my cousins. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like a social just reckless. Like, I was St. Catherine, it's illegal. I'm smoking. You know what I mean? Like, But now it's just be like, yo, I'll do that at home. I'll do that when I sleep.
So like self-reflect.
I mean? Like, exactly, right? So like, and especially because me being around the kids, I don't go to school high. You know what I mean? Like I go to my job high. Like when I was like younger, like I'd be like,
just
call center, I'd be like, yo,
I'm
smoking this and I want to go take these calls, right? But now it's just like, yo, I'm a lot more cautious and I'm aware that like it affects your brain, right? So when I was younger, I didn't really care about those things, but now it's like when I need to be focused, I need to be focused. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and your schedule too. You're waking up early and shit.
I'm waking up early and I'm training. Like training changed it a lot. Right?
It gave you more discipline.
Because CrossFit's so hard, I couldn't do that shit high. It's just impossible, right? And then like, and it's a waste of high. Because it's like you get high, you go do your workout, and
you forget how many reps you did.
Exactly, and it's just like you lose. Like it just doesn't make any sense. So that helped me a lot too. You know what I mean? So it was just like it's like growing. Like you grow into like a new person every single time. That's what I mean by a real model. Like you grow. Like anybody that's just been perfect their whole life, good luck.
There's no such thing.
You didn't do much if you're perfect your whole life. You know what I mean?
So by waking up in the morning, do you have a certain routine or like?
Yeah, well, basically,
do you like journal and shit? Do you have like things like that you do?
Yeah. I when I wake up in the morning, usually I stick with liquids. Okay. You know what I mean? Because I usually try to work out in the morning as early as I can, and then after that,
I work out before going to school.
If I can. If my schedule allows me, I work out. When I'm on competition mode, it takes like my workouts are 3 hours. If I'm just like maintaining a certain like standard, it'll be 1 hour. And so I keep it light. So I have a lot of liquids in the morning. Then after that, after my workouts, I'm never hungry immediately after because like my body's been through trauma. So I wait a couple hours and then it's just like I just start eating. Like I just start eating like until I go to bed. Like until.
And are you on like a strict meal like plan?
Nah, man. It's very simple, man. Stay away from sugar. Stay away from processed food. Eat real food. If you're gonna eat meat, make sure that it was treated properly while it was alive. Make sure it comes from
where do you have access to that here?
Here you have that access for your local farmer.
Okay.
It's more expensive, right? Definitely more expensive. But
local farmers, a lot of them struggle, especially in Quebec.
Exactly.
Like small like family farms and shit, they have to close down because they can't sustain themselves.
Yeah, for sure. And we try like me and my girl, we try to buy local as much as we can, especially the meat, because it's like it's flesh. We don't really want to like skip, like you don't want to take shortcuts on like animal flesh. You want to make sure it's as fresh and it's like
because that flesh becomes your flesh.
Yeah. So imagine like a disgusting person, right? Like you see people like in the metros and stuff like that. Some people look disgusting, and like imagine you had to eat that person. You'd much rather eat the person that was doing CrossFit than the person that was like eating Doritos and like drinking Mountain Dew every day for like 40 years. You know what I mean?
Would you ever hunt?
Hunt? No, I'd rather become a vegetarian. I don't think I have it in me. No, I'm lying. I kill ducks. I would kill ducks. Okay. I love ducks.
Have you killed ducks?
No, I haven't. But I would. I know I would because I love it and that like. But then my consumption would probably reduce, right? Okay. Because it's like, I don't know. Have you ever seen a dead animal? Like my grandfather guts deers and stuff like that. Like when they go hunting.
Oh, sick. Okay, so you've seen that shit.
They have land and stuff like that in Quebec. Actually in Magog, and like it's disgusting. You know what I mean? Like tastes good. But like, and we don't see the process. Like,
but that process gives the food more meaning, though.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Like, and like, I thought about it. I've already thought about it if I would hunt. But that's like it's another level of eating. You know what I mean? And you must have respect for the animal after you.
You're also going through a lot of shit just to like get that animal. Yeah.
That's a good thing. I should try that. I should try that.
And like I'm like just starting to sound like Joe Rogan now.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm with it, but I don't think I'd be like killing cows and stuff like that for like red meat. Like I don't think I'd do that because I see them like on Discovery Channel. I'm like, I wouldn't kill that. Like like you see animals, you don't want to kill them.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah,
it's just we get them because they're like we eat meat because it's packaged and we don't see.
Yeah, you don't see like the eyes looking at you.
Exactly,
you know?
You're about to kill it, it's looking at you. It's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, because like if you look at some like some countries have food where they keep the head on and everything, and like even that, like I feel like as when there's a head on the thing, like, you can't eat it because you just like
you see it.
You have like an empathetic.
I think that's what we should do more of is just keep the head on.
Keep the head on. Yeah, that might actually solve it.
You'd be like, I might skip the meat today.
Yeah, or like give every animal like a life story.
Exactly. So it's like you just gotta be careful with it. And like, I don't know if I would kill animals, to be honest with you. I don't know if I would still stay like eat meat. I don't know. Something I have to see as my evolution continues.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You know? I had that same thing too. I was like, at a certain age, like I either want to just hunt or become like I want to choose one side.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to, like, because I feel like I can still kind of fuck around right now with my eating habits and shit, but like eventually I feel like I would have to get that shit in check. Like,
for sure. Like even me, like I consume a lot of sugar. Even though I train, like I'm a sugar addict. Like I love chocolate.
Yo, trust.
Like I'm out here like 11 o'clock at night eating like Lucky Charms, like a big ass bowl of Lucky Charms.
That was literally me like 2 days ago. Like 2 in the morning. It was just like
it's just about
Lucky
like
Charms.
But you know what? The good part is that you realize. Right? Some people don't realize what they're doing is wrong. Like I know when I'm eating my bowl of Lucky Charms, I should not be doing this. I should probably not be eating at 11 or at least be eating something that's like good for me, you know?
Yeah.
But
you're aware of it.
I'm aware of it.
As long as you're aware of it.
Exactly. Awareness takes you a long way. Self-reflection takes you a long way. Definitely.
So did you say you journal?
I journal. Yeah, I journal. You mean like my workouts?
No, just in general. Like, do you have any like practices that you just started doing?
Just making music.
Okay.
My journal, my out since I was a kid was really writing. I started really writing raps when I was like, I don't know, when I was like 7.
Okay.
I'd write like these stupid raps.
Your family has a background in music, right?
Yeah. Everybody's done music in my family. So basically like my mom's biological dad was a Haitian singer. He came to Quebec in like, I guess, the 60s. And then he met my grandmother on tour, probably. I'm not really sure about the story.
He was a Haitian singer and he was like continuing that in Quebec?
Yeah, like basically both my biological grandfathers have over 40 kids.
Okay.
Right? So like they have over 40 kids. And like my mom, she ended up becoming a singer. She ended up singing in a choir when I was like 3 years old. At the same time, my dad started, he was DJing, but he started producing. And then he later on would show me how to DJ. So he'd come with me on my gigs and we'd go back to back and we just like DJ, and I learned how to do that way. And my mom was just like, she was really like a grinder. Like she'd wake up, she'd do the same thing I was doing. She'd go to the club, she'd sing at night, wake up, train, go to work, come back home, grab a little nap, make me something to eat. My aunt would come watch me. She'd go back to the club, sing, and that would be like the weekend rotation. You know what I mean? Yeah,
when you grow up with a parent that's grinding like that, it gets like put into you.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, it was never like, that's what you need to do. Right?
Yeah, it wasn't like, I'm working
from there,
really
she
hard.
just like elevated and kept going. So to me, it was just like, there's no, like my mom's.
Is she still making music?
Yeah, I'm producing some of her music right now.
Oh, cool.
You know, I kind of like put it to the side to work on my project, and then I come back, like my mom will write a couple of things and we'll go back in the studio, work on her stuff. And yeah, but it's only been like, we're in 2022, so it's only been like 2 years I've been actually like taking care of the business aspect, you know, and then like with the situation that happened with Wahala, it allowed me to, you know, get in contact with more different media outlets. So now it's just like, it's on and popping. You know what I mean? So, and my mom's on every one of my songs.
Oh yeah.
She's in like, she does background vocals. Like if you listen, you're always gonna hear like a female voice.
Okay, cool.
And that's my mom, because like sonically, our voices, she sings way better than me. Like she's one of the best singers I've ever heard, but like there's still like a tint of similarity. So like they gel so nice together. It works together. And it's just like so much more meaningful. Because I know she gets on the track and she's like, nah, song's so-so. Chances are the song's actually so-so. But when she does the song and she likes it, what she's just done, then I know I got a hit. Because I like it and she likes it, and we got two different.
Yeah. Okay, sick. So that's like your way of gauging it.
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm like, if my mom likes it and I like it, and then engineer likes it, we're good. Okay, I know it's we got something. You know what I mean?
So what do you have coming up?
Right now, so Give It To Me is dropping end of February.
Okay.
We're trying to shoot a video for that. Then I got like maybe 2-3 singles coming out. After that, that's gonna lead us up into September, where I'm dropping my album, because one of my main goals, like my final goal, was to get a Juno. You know what I mean? Like that's something that like I think.
Yeah, why Juno? That's very specific.
Well, because to me it's like the highest award that you can get in Canada for your music.
It's a Canadian award.
And to me, the Juno is more valuable than the Grammy because we got Bieber, we got Tory Lanez, we got Drake, we got Party Next Door, we got The Weeknd. You know, we got a lot of great Canadian artists. So if I can put myself in that space, then I feel like I accomplished my goal as a musician, to be honest with you. And that was my goal that I set when I gave the students the project, right? I was like, because usually it's good to work like reverse, right? So you have a goal and you break that goal down into little ones. So like my first goal was like release 7 songs in 7 months, 1 song a month, right? And I played like as my first EP, if you will. And then after that, it was like shoot a music video and try to push it as much as I can, right? And the irony about that, it was like it came with a negative, right? Because of the suspension, but I really did push it.
Still publicity. Yeah.
Exactly. I still pushed it as far as I can. And now it's just dropping that album so I can actually like be able to give my name for the Juno, right? So it might work out, it might not work out, but at least if I put this album out and you know, like they get wind of it, I'll be in that radar and I'll just keep going until I get that nomination. And then I'll keep going until I get that Juno, but who knows what's gonna happen in between these things? Like you never know what life shoots at you, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, I might get a deal, I might not get a deal, I might do a production deal with somebody, like we don't know. You never know. So that was
honestly, I think that's the best way of looking at it. Like just be malleable with the situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Just adapt. Yeah.
And it's like it's a good thing, you know, like just like not having goals but not expectations.
Yeah.
And working for your goals, you know, like because expectations are rough when they're not met. Like it's just like I expected this and this didn't happen. So now you feel like quitting and like, you know, you're second guessing everything. But if you have goals and you just keep hitting your goals and in between those goals things happen, then it's all good. Like it's just roll with the punches. But yeah, having goals and not expectations is definitely the way to go.
100%. I agree with that. Bro, that's like the sick way to end this. Yeah, bro. Thanks for coming.
Yo, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. LOWKEY MTL, what up?